Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're going to talk about how to manage or consider diet foods. So we're just coming off the heels of our irritable bowel syndrome GI issue two-part series. And I think we spent enough time, Adam, talking about some of those low-carb, quote-unquote, foods that fill in with all kinds of weird filling fibers. But there are other things to consider. You mentioned miracle noodles or zero noodles, things that say, oh, we have zero carbs. But really, if we put that through any kind of calorie measurement device, we would probably find that they're just like any other noodle and probably have 40 or 50 grams of carbs per cup. I've had to eliminate those from clients, and then all of a sudden they start losing weight. That was a couple hundred calories that they just didn't think were there. But we've got low-fat foods, low-carb foods, low-sugar foods. Let's get really specific and talk about things that you have seen cause problems that we should probably just avoid.
Yeah. So I think for us, looking at a nutrition label and seeing what the ingredients actually are in the food. A great example that I could give recently, one of my clients, they were eating black bean noodles. And this was a client, the only reason I found this is she was so low calorie, I was like, there's no way she's not losing weight. So I said, let's look at your food sources. I see these black bean noodles for about 2 of her 5 meals. And I'm like, it's got to be this, because one, I've never heard of them. And I said, send me a picture of these. And these noodles claim to be made of all organic black beans and water and something else. I can't remember what it was. But the protein content was 27 grams of protein per serving. And I'm like, there's no way, because if I look up just plain organic black beans, there's no way, unless the first ingredient's whey protein, that these have that much protein in them.
Absolutely. And I mean, what a great point, just to make sure you're cross-referencing some of these weird, aggressive claims. But, I've had clients also who just as part of their day, just trying to survive dieting, they'll have a sugar-free Jell-O serving at the end of a night, or they'll have, the people who drink 2 liters of diet Mountain Dew a day versus maybe sipping on one energy drink. What do you find? I know we've talked about this in the past, but when you look at those sugar alternatives, substitutes, how much concern do you have?
Depends on the client. If there's somebody who's losing slow, that might be a point where I'm like, man, calories are getting really low. Let's look at what you're eating. And if I start seeing a lot of that on there, I know they're just not going to be in as glucagon dominant of a state as they could be. They're going to have that rise in insulin, which they're just not going to be as in a aggressive fat loss state if they're having that stuff. And, me and you have some freak of nature clients who diet on plus 300 grams of carbs. And, we might not dig into that much detail on what they're eating as long as they're losing a pretty consistent level. So it definitely depends on the client and what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And I know some astute listeners to us will say, well, wait. I know there is a study that showed that there was not any insulin reaction to artificial sweeteners and all that. And of course, this is, as you said, very contextual to each client. Some people may have a threshold where it's fine. Typically somebody with a really fast metabolism, just like they burn through calories quicker, they're not going to have that kind of reaction to artificial sweeteners. Other people do. Other people have severe reactions. And that's just a case-by-case anecdotal survey almost, that you have to dig through every single point of their diet. And whether you're a client or a coach, it's really imperative to look at every single thing you consume when you get into these difficult decisions of, why am I not losing fast enough? Because I will say you have to be very skeptical. And when you see something that looks too good to be true, oh, I can have this much of this food and it says there are no carbs or whatever, it's probably too good to be true. There's probably some false labeling there somewhere. So
we always want to believe it too is the bad thing.
Yeah. And then, just on that note, even things like low fat, you could have something like Olestra, which is, something that's binding to the fat. So hopefully you don't get that absorbed into your body, but some of it will. And things like that cause major GI issues. So we covered that enough, but you guys, thanks for watching and listening. We will catch you next time as we move into a couple more topics. You're going to want to hear these on off-season planning in Contest Prep U. We'll see you there.